Mhm. Good morning. Good morning. We'll be jumping on in just a couple of minutes. Grab your coffee, grab your tea. I'll see you all shortly. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are all tuning in and ready for this morning's tea talk. I'll be hitting record in just a minute and then joining on Instagram here shortly. Go ahead and hit record so I can already be. Good morning, everyone. Just slowly typing in the title for Instagram so that if you are on any of the platforms, you have access to be able to join with us. So we are on Zoom, Facebook group, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and soon to be, like I said, Instagram. So good morning. Almost done typing. And go ahead and hit live. All right. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me on the Greater Self Vibes podcast, where we are hosting our Tea Talks with Dr.Z. And this week we are looking at what do you do with unscheduled time? So when you are setting up your schedule, what's it look like for you when you have lots of things on your schedule and it's booked and it's jam-packed, and then boom, a bunch of people start canceling, or something changes in your actual flow and something needs to be different? How do you go about making changes? We're going to explore how to get into that. And of course, I want to make sure before the day gets going too far, one, thank you guys for joining me in the morning, because you could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here with me. And then secondly, if you haven't already signed up, please feel free to join me on 12/8. We will be 12/18. 12/8 is already passed. 12/18 for the Your Brilliant, I am still waking up, forgive me, Your Brilliant Life Plan Reclamation Retreat, where we will be exploring all of the things that 2022 has brought you and setting yourselves up for 2023 in a way that supports not only what you want to be accomplishing, but all those things that you've ever, I don't know, just imagine doing and setting goals in a way that actually align with your mind, your body, and yourself. Of course, there'll be some yoga, some guided meditation, some things in there. So we are looking at, as my tea is seething, we're looking at today just when you're scheduling your time. I want to know from you all, just curious, do you schedule yourself jam-packed, like back-to-back sessions? And you can just drop an emoji, a hand raise, and just say yes. And I know sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll give it a couple moments. But if you pulled out your physical planner or your digital planner, are you like nonstop from as soon as you wake up in the morning, or do you give yourself a little bit of a break in between clients, maybe meetings, maybe meeting with new potential business partners? Oh, cool. So you give yourself some time. Thanks. And I see the name. So my apologies if I'm saying the Instagram name wrong, but I appreciate you responding. When you do that, let's say, and I know we haven't heard anything from the other side yet, but let's just say you are back to back, right? And you have already mentally prepared for it. You got enough rest. You ate something in the morning. You worked out if that's what you normally do. And all those things that you do typically to set yourself up for success, you did them. And then boom, right about 10 minutes before your first meeting, appointment, or whatever it is you have on your schedule, you start getting the calls, the emails, and things are getting canceled left and right. What do you do when that happens? What are some of the things that you tend to go to? Do you, especially when it's attached to money? So now these people not showing up also means you just made less money for that particular day that you maybe counted on. How do you show up for the rest of your day when that happens? Like I said, any suggestions or any things that you all already do, and then we'll definitely dig into what are some options that you could explore or consider doing. This morning's drink will be brought to you by a mint green tea. I decided to switch it up just a little bit. So I'm still waiting for those responses, but historically, this is something that I've heard from some of my clients. This is something that I've witnessed for myself. When the cancellations all kicked in, there's this immediate fear or panic of, I'm not going to meet my quota for the day. I'm not going to beat my billing expectation. I literally won't be able to make the amount of money that I'm supposed to make so that I will actually be good. When that happens, there can be a huge fear that kicks in and a horrible spiral, for lack of better words, that can put you in a position where, hey, thanks for jumping on, put you in a position where now this day that you had mapped out, you did all the stuff the night before, you set your routine up, you knew what your day was going to look like, and then you start getting cancellations. You start having people back out, folks that are going to be running late or not showing up at all or want to move their schedule around. And you're like, but I'm jam-packed. And then the cancels happen. What do you do to fill your time when you get those cancellations? Is that an automatic or immediate break for you? And if so, do you actually break and like have things set already that you do? Or is that a space where you fill it with more work? Maybe some background documentation work, maybe creating a whole new thing. What do you tend to do when you get those unscheduled breaks and you had otherwise a full schedule, which also meant a full day of potential payments? And maybe there's a benefit in looking at what's the difference in having a cancellation for something that was producing money versus a cancellation for something that was for lack of better words, eating up your time and really wasn't in alignment with how you wanted to spend it, but you were following through on the commitments you made, and then they canceled after you held space and did not schedule something or someone else that could have seriously paid some bills. Hey, thanks for joining, jumping on. How do you like to fill that time? When people don't show up, they don't keep their commitments, and it does impact not only your livelihood, but it impacts your energy levels. What does that look like for you? I'm totally curious as to what you all do. And if you ever notice a switch when this happens. So while we're still waiting for some responses here or there, sometimes I feel it with more work, but a few times I've gone on the Calm app to meditate. Okay, cool. So totally taking it as an opportunity to rest, relax, and reset. That's totally one of the things I was going to suggest. Some other things that I would like to offer as another means of filling your time is, one, start noticing those times where you get cancellations on things that you didn't want to do anyways. There's a good chance that you're manifesting that cancellation, which means if you didn't want to do it, maybe we need to go back before we even put it on our schedules so that we don't have to worry about these cancellations and stop saying yes. I know that can be hard and feel a little weird because we made these obligations, but as this year is ending, this is a really great time to look at what things are you doing and showing up for, and are those the things that you want to keep showing up for, so they don't end up on your schedule and then potentially get canceled, which again shifts your mood and shifts how you're moving and functioning. So yes, totally taking that time during a cancellation to do some calm meditation, maybe take a nap, maybe go have the full breakfast if you didn't get a chance to actually eat and do the things you want. Maybe you want to go back and look at billing. Maybe this is a good time to start digging into a training or something that you wanted to learn more information about. Maybe this is a great time to catch up on some past due work. So if you have like overdue billing, or there were some reports that needed to be done, or maybe some bills that needed to be paid, or some systems that needed to be set up or realigned, those breaks, if you create, and a coach that I worked with at one point told me to create a hat list. This hat list specifically, and if you've ever been in any of my coaching programs, you may have heard of this hat list before. Initially, the hat list was for just things that you want to spend your money on, right? So having a list of things that you really want and care about so that you can come back to them at some other point in time. That definitely gets explained in the process and thoughts behind it in GTV, and my lovely folks that I'll be meeting with this weekend will definitely get a chance to dig a little more into that. But when you set your schedule, ideally, you want to fill your schedule with things that are like your rocks, right? Those things that no matter what you're showing up for, you're doing every single week, like clockwork. People can count their lives on it based on you showing up and doing it. When those things happen to be the things that do get canceled, and it could be some of the smaller things that aren't as pressing, ideally, you want to set up a list of things that you can easily go to in the event that you get a cancellation. So you don't find yourself in a space of getting frantic and kind of like, what do I do with myself? And then end up minutes, hours later, not really having accomplished anything that you wanted, but also now being further behind on something else when you actually gained more of your time back. So that cancellation was a gift, because there was probably something that you didn't want to be doing. And even if you really wanted to do that, there's something else that was more important. When you create this list of things, kind of like your backlog of activities or things to do, and it could be laundry, it could be making a call to someone you don't speak to, it could be, like I said, past documentation, setting up a new system, learning a new process, or literally just taking a break because maybe you didn't schedule that in. Go ahead and give yourself that permission and time to say, oh, I have a cancellation. Great. Let me check and see what are some of the things I had on here. Oh, I had take a break. I'm tired. I'm going back to sleep. Take your quick mini nap. take a moment to use something like the Calm app, or listen to a guided meditation on YouTube, or learn something new. I would say surf the internet or like scroll on IG or TikTok, but I don't know if those are things that are supportive to you or create a black hole. Out of curiosity for you all, which, aside from obviously meditating, because we definitely got a response on that, what are some of the things that you all kind of took from that you would be willing to do to fill in your space when you do have unscheduled time, especially when it's not predicted, and or things you might want to explore looking into? And it could even be a workout, be a super quick challenge or something like that. If you've noticed, there's been a jump rope challenge that I've definitely been engaging in, but you can explore different things that won't require all of your time and attention, but those unscheduled moments can definitely be filled with something that could be money generating. The excuse me, those things on the back end that aren't fun, they're not sexy, they're not cute, but they definitely make the wheels go round, as well as you rejuvenating you, because most of us are in businesses that provide services that we have to show up for. So if we're not there, we literally can't provide the service. We can't help the people. So those unscheduled, those cancellations, they're actually a gift. If we can immediately switch and transition from, I can't believe this person didn't show up, and maybe you don't have a late fee or late cancellation fee. So maybe you might not be compensated, but look at it as a gift. Like, I just gained back an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours of my time. And heaven forbid you actually drove to somewhere and then they canceled. You now have the opportunity to go back to wherever you'd like to be or explore a new area. You have the opportunity to explore or check out, what would I like to be doing anyways, other than maybe what I was about to be doing. And just the mental thought of transitioning into, it's a gift to me to get my time back. Now I can use it how I want to. Not saying it's going to feel effortless like that, but it's a way to start going about your schedule. Oh, I love taking a nap, call a friend, have a snack, or actually eat lunch, which signals to me maybe sometimes lunch doesn't make it onto the schedule, but we definitely keep trying to give to everyone else. And it would not hurt to start making ourselves a priority. So when those cancellations show up, let it be about you now. Let it be like, oh, clearly I just gained an hour of me time back. What do I want to do? I think sometimes I have seriously like seen the cancellation come through and hopped in the car and like ran to go get my nails done real quick, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Now I have a chance to actually go do something that didn't make it onto my schedule, because it might not have been a rock for that day or for that week, but clearly it's important to do things that are helpful to yourself, like naps, like speaking to people you care about, like eating food. And hopefully those are helpful tips. Anything else anybody else kind of jumps into when you have unscheduled time, canceled time, or what you choose to do for your downtime in general? Like, how do you set it up or schedule it to make sure that you're getting your needs met? Ooh, tea was still a little bit too hot. Definitely don't want to burn my mouth here. Yes, and I know sometimes there can be a mini delay, but while we're kind of waiting on those, this Thursday's Tea Talk will actually be exploring gratitude. And I'll be having a special guest joining me, and we will be exploring just kind of what that looks like in the capacity of being able to have other folks within your, not just your field, but like your circle of folks that you deal with, your people that you call your people, the different communities that you invest in or that you are connected with, what it looks like to have access to those folks, and then having gratitude for doing so. Also, again, just throwing it out there, and we totally don't have to stay on forever. This can be more of your unscheduled time. You'll get back a little bit of your morning if you put me on your calendar, which I totally would appreciate. But 12/18, we're definitely doing the Your Brilliant Life Plan, Reclamation Retreat. There are still a couple of spots in person available. Otherwise, virtually, you can totally jump on and join us, grab your workbook, go through. We're going to be filling out how to set your goals up based on your mind, your body, and yourself, and making sure that all these things are in alignment in a way that totally is supportive to what it is you'd like to be creating for 2023, and using all of our wins from like 22 in life and beyond as the means for setting that groundwork. We'll definitely be doing some guided meditations, some affirmations, and some yoga, because what would it be like if you don't move your body just a little bit? Hopefully you all will join me there. And if you have any questions about it, concerns, or ideas for topics or things you'd like to have explored, feel free to shoot a text to 626-722-5661. That's 626-722-5661. Or shoot us an email at info@greaterself.org. Feel free to jump on here and join us on Thursday at 7:30 a.m. for the rest of December. Tea Talks with Dr. Z. This is what our Freedom Fridays are leading up to, these Tea Talks, how we can get more freedom and do so in a way that really works for us. So thank you all for joining me this morning on the Greater Self Vibes podcast, aka Tea Talks with Dr. Z. And let me know if guys have any things you'd like to explore. I'll give it about another 60 seconds or so, take another sip of tea, and then if not, I look forward to seeing you all Thursday and or in the stories as they go this week. And I'll definitely get my jump roping in later on today. So see you all later, unless somebody's got some questions, thoughts, or concerns. All right. Well, you have a great day too. No, you have a better day than a good day. Hopefully you guys do have an amazing, what day is today? Oh yeah, it's Tuesday. Amazing Tuesday. Let the transformations begin if they haven't already. I will see you all on Thursday. Thank you. I'll figure out how to turn everything off.